Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we are looking at Royal here in the top right, going up against Bisu in the bottom right. Pretty much always a fan of watching some Bisu games, no matter what matchup it may be. And Royal, you know, he's actually been pretty active lately. We've been doing a bit more Royal games. It's kind of good to see him since ASL was a flop for him this season, unfortunately. But good to see him practicing pretty hard right now and being pretty active on the ladder. So very, very cool. Of course, we know that Bisu's been incredibly active. And I think the season didn't quite go as he wanted. I think he was playing pretty well overall, but just wasn't quite able to do it. And, you know, that's going to happen no matter how hard you practice. But I don't think his results were terrible. I don't think he played terribly this season, but there were definitely some mistakes. You know, obviously. He's not the champion, so... yeah. We're on Radeon, and Radeon gives us, just in general, very good macro games, I think. We'll see what type of openers that they want to do, and while we wait for that, I want to thank you guys for checking out ArtosisCasts. Please do check if you are subscribed. If not, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for leaving comments and liking the video and all those great things. And a big thanks to everyone who's supported on the Patreon, patreon.com/Artosis. It's down in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Very, very much appreciated. And yeah, you know, the channel's been doing well. Been having a great time. That is a very fast gas. That is some sick mining optimization. You can actually see he's nailing it. Oh, not that one. Watch this. See that? You see how it goes up like that? And there you go. These two patches are what you really work on this spot. But yeah, that was like really perfect mining to get that at 137. That's like basically as fast as you can get it down with a 12 gas. So very nice. But that's his style. We know that's his style. We've known that's been his style forever. Now, Bisu has gone Nexus first here, and Royal's scouting the wrong direction. We'll see if he end scouts or box scouts. I believe Royal is still an end scouter. Right? So N, the letter N on the mini-map. Little zigzag scout. So you scout those close spawns first. 228 fact. Damn! All right, let's go. So this speed of this factory will have a vulture here before Dragoon is out. So that's going to be something that Bisu has to contend with. As he gets up here with his probe, he'll probably recognize that. And also, of course, you could end up doing a rush. And, okay, he goes 2-gate. So the best situation that I think Royal can go for here, and we'll see what he decides once he scouts. But I think what you do here is you make a couple Marines, and you go Vulture, and you just pressure with Vulture and expand yourself. Because once you get up here and you see 2-gate, if they go 2-gate and they make a couple Zealots and they micro-well, you almost never break it with a Marine Vulture push anymore. So see, he gets a very fast command center. And yeah, he canceled that Marine, so he was able to afford that. So it's kind of like a TVT build, and he gets that Vulture going immediately. And look at this. So Bisu, to contend with the speed of this Vulture, needs to actually wall this completely. He didn't even get the Dragoon started exactly as the core came. He's sending a Vulture. Okay, this might be actually what he does instead, is right-click this across the map and make the Vulture kill it. And we'll see if he runs past this or not. This is actually a very... Oh, he runs around it? So are you going to full wall then? Oh. What? Okay, he recognized that a Zealot was missing. So he actually turns around with this. So Bisu actually gets his way into this working out. But he could have had the Vulture down here, and Bisu did not have good SimCity to prevent a couple probe kills. You get a couple probe kills in this situation, it's really, really good. But Bisu actually kind of keeps the Vulture back, and now he's sending units across the map. And these units actually do pretty well against what we have here. It's a damaged Vulture, a damaged Marine, and 2 green Marines. So, yeah, he comes up, he puts a little bit of damage out. He has more units coming as well, another Dragoon. The Siege Tank does pop out in time, though. I love that he's targeting down some of these weaker units. Oh, he doesn't quite get the Vulture. Very good micro. And you do have to pull back from here. This is actually really interesting. This is a very interesting game, the way that this has gone. There's been like a lot of very small moves that have rippled throughout this game, because if this was just a couple ladder players going on it, most likely the Vulture gets down, gets a couple probes, but then maybe the counterattack that comes up here because the Vulture was already killed down there does a little bit better for Bisu. A lot of very small things going on that have changed the course of this game. Also, I need to mention the fact that he went tank second here to push back the Dragoons that came up was very, very cool. I don't actually see people do that generally. And I'm actually wondering why now. Because this type of play with 2-gate, where you instantly attack across the map before they get mines out, can be a little bit tricky to hold. And the fact that he's gone siege tank quickly and now he's going into speed as well and he's trying to pressure, I actually very, very much like what I'm seeing out of Royal here. There is a reason this guy's an ASL champion. Don't let my distaste for his general style, when I'm a bit critical about, I'm like, you should probably make another factory here, that type of thing. Don't let that dissuade you. He is such an excellent player. This is a very cool play, though. This is super neat. And like the third base, generally you want the third base started by now as Bisu. Now he's got Vulture speed. He comes in. He's putting some pressure on this goon. Sees the other goons. Okay, pulls back. It looks like he's not going to lose any units. Woo! Actually does get the hit on the mine. He's got 2 factory. He actually goes second add-on very quickly here. You know what? That might actually be good here, too. With the amount of Dragoons that Bisu's making, that actually kind of makes sense. I don't know if he wants quick Goliath range, too. That is a possibility. I don't think so, though. It sounds a little bit too expensive. I'm actually going to have to go back and rewatch this. Like, this is... I am super fascinated by the way that Royal has played this game. I feel like he's played it so well. Like, with a... He's played this game with a soft touch. People have become accustomed in a lot of ways to having to try to get damage against Nexus first. That hasn't been the case for Royal. He's done some more subtle moves that have done very well to do things like slow this Nexus down and force Bisu into a more defensive stance. Look at this. Bisu comes across all these goons. Sometimes that's a scary moment when they come across with a big goon push. But look at that. 5 tanks the siege mode. He's adding additional factories. The third base is not fast for Bisu. This is one of, as far as not attacking your opponent, this might be the best counter I've seen to Nexus first 2-gate. Which is such a common build, guys. If you play on the ladder, you probably are running into this really, really often, and it's just like a tough thing to play against. And to see Royal just absolutely dance around the build. Look at this. He's getting his comm sats. His comm sats are going to finish. He's only going to be down like 4 or 5 probes. 4 or 5 workers. That's fantastic. Reaver coming up for Bisu. He's got that third base. Now, here's the thing. I'm saying so many good and nice things about the way Royal's playing this because this is really very cool, and I haven't actually seen it played out like this yet. This feels very kind of new. But Bisu's not like dead or something. Like, Royal hasn't put out a game where like, oh, Bisu's screwed. Bisu's not screwed. Bisu's fine. Bisu's completely fine. Like, yeah, his third base is a little bit slow. But, you know, every now and you know, you play games and things get slowed down and things don't go right, but you're still okay. He's got a great probe count. He's clearing his side of the map of mines. You know, he's getting his Sim City down. He's getting some photon cannons up just in case there's like a drop coming in. Getting into Reaver Tech. Look at this, 6 gateways. With the Reaver Tech, this is exactly what you want to see. Like, this should be able to hold anything. He's getting his 4th base up as those gates are up. Like, his observer dived in at the right time to see that the command center was on the way. Bisu's playing a great game. There's absolutely nothing wrong with his position. I would say that these 2 spots are actually pretty close to even. Yeah, this looks pretty close to even to me. A couple more gates coming up for Bisu. Great sniping on the observers. Truly great sniping on the observers. I do want him to scan the main base. And just try to check out what's going on. But killing observers can be just as good, especially if you're going to blindly make some turrets. Dude, this is a great game from Royal. Damn. I know I've definitely, I feel like I've done Royal dirty because I've casted. The thing is, I don't have any idea what happens in any of these games before I cast, you know? And like a lot of his games lately have been like Protoss just like going Reaver, 3 base, and then like pounding like an imbalanced composition where there's too many tanks, not enough vultures. That type of game. You just like, that's the type of game I feel like I've seen a lot out of him lately. But I'm looking at this game, and this is the cleanest, best versus Nexus first I've seen in a very long time, maybe ever. And I love his setup. I love the blind turrets. I love that he's been picking off observers specifically. Look at his supply. 152, 124. You're very happy here, is Taran. You're very happy. Now, Bisu sets a couple goons up. He ran this through to make sure he was clearing any mines, but he does need to get a probe down here and expand. He needs a 5th base. It's very crucial that he gets a 5th base. Now, Bisu, he's got double shuttle. So it looks like he's going to run in here and do some damage, or at least attempt it. I don't know that he's going to really find that much. Well, maybe. Let's see. No, not too much yet. He still has his shuttle at high health. Yeah, picks off that Goliath. Really good targeting. Goes towards the main. Some decent defense here. Gonna pick off that missile turret immediately. This is a big army coming in. If Bisu was on 10 gate and attack moved right now, like he might be able to break something. But yeah, Royal has brought back a huge army, and the Reavers are actually doing okay. I think this, at the end of the day, this drop was good. Oh, well, unfortunately, you couldn't get those out, but there was too many units there anyways. So that gets dealt with, and there was nothing here. So there was maybe potential for a little bit of counterattacking, but Bisu set up his 5th. His units were not really in position. It seems like he was microing those shuttles a bit more. A lot of times people do that dive in, but are focusing more on macro and less on control. He focused a little bit more on control. If he had focused on getting his units into position, he could have gotten into an area where he actually forced this to lift. And now Royal's moving out. He's in quite a long line, so I'm a little bit nervous about him. Oh, but Bisu gets his Zealots stuck behind his Dragoons, so the Zealots actually don't get up there before the tanks are sieged. So it starts out very good here on the side of Royal, but some Psystorms come out, some pretty good Psystorms. He's running out of Zealots, so he does have to be very, very careful from here. Not that many tanks left. Great Psystorm right there. Huh. Kind of funny to see. The tanks are pretty low on health, so he is going to end up losing those. This just went, like, pretty heavily towards Bisu. It was a weird attack from Royal, that attack that we just saw. I don't know why he attacked out. I think because he killed the double shuttle, sometimes you're like, okay, well, he has less shuttles now. He probably has no Reavers. Maybe he's in between splash damage tech. Like, maybe there's no Psystorm yet, and it's mostly just a gateway and shuttle-based army I'm up against. That's my best guess as to why he moved out that quickly in that manner after clearing the drop. And he had a lot of supply. Like, he was macroing super well. But at the end of the day, I think that that did actually benefit Bisu more. Because now we're on 3 base, 5 base, well, even 6 base, but he doesn't have probes at the 5th and 6th yet. I'm sure he'll get those there. So Bisu's going to be able to macro up super fast. He definitely needs to add gates. We see, what, 10 gates? Probably should throw a couple gates down here. He gets a couple, photon cannons down there as well. A 4th command center on the way. Definitely the game is not over yet, but yeah, I do like Bisu's position here a bit more. Okay, moves out a little bit. Now, he can't attack, and he knows that. He knows after losing that army that he can't attack. What he might be able to do is lay mines and spread this way. Like, this type of position can set up for the 4th base, which he's building right now. But if Bisu runs everything in, it might become gross. Hold on, we have a drop coming out. Oh, no. From 64 to 56. Okay, that could have been much worse. That could have been much worse. Royal GG's regardless. Not too surprising that he GG'd there. And that's just because he lost the army in the center. The attack down the center was just such a strange choice, right? Because he had cleared this all out. The thing is, his supply was really good. And in fact, look at that. These numbers favor Taran. But it doesn't favor Taran in an attack move situation. But, like, overall, you look at those numbers, you're like, yeah, Taran's in a good spot. You know, obviously we have the 5th Nexus coming up. And one thing that I've really tried to drive home in my casts is when Taran's on 3 base and a 5th Nexus gets made, you have to expand or attack. He chose to attack here. But this was, I think it was a bit too fast. Just let's look at it a little bit faster this time. Right? His army's in a line coming out of the main base. See that? It stretches way far back. Now, this whole army, if he has this army set up really nicely, like spread, sieged, mines laid, this army can never touch it. But this is the type of engagement Bisu's looking for. And the funny thing is, his zealots got stuck. If these 4 goons were like here or here, he crushes this. See the zealots all stuck behind there for that whole time, and it's literally sieged, and they get a whole volley on the goons before the zealots even get in there. So this would have been even worse if Bisu's army was spread just slightly more. Anyways, that was a great game. Like, kind of a little bit of an anticlimactic ending for sure. And this attack, it wasn't fantastic. You kind of have to give Nexus first openers a little bit more respect. Where it's like, yeah, even in a game where a normal position I could have attacked here, he might have a little bit too much. But great opener from Royal, one of the best I've seen. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.